Hey there, this is Zoe Reyes again, licensed marriage and family therapist out here in Sacramento, California. I'm here at the Peak Counseling Group. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about self care, and I know that I've written an article about this as well as done a previous video about self care, but I wanted to spend today and talk a little bit about specific ways to practice self care. Self-care, again, is about being intentional with your time and how you take care of your health, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental. Some ways that you can practice self-care physically is obviously sleeping, getting enough sleep. And so when I talk about being intentional about it, is being aware of your time, recognizing that it's about that time to go to bed and shut everything down, and making sure that you get about 7 to 10 hours of sleep a night, depending on how old you are and how much time you need. That's about average, about how much time people need to get a well-rested night's sleep. There's also being intentional about the types of food you eat and when to eat. Um, Making sure that you're setting time aside to have proper meals. People have a tendency to skip meals, particularly breakfast, which is a bad habit to get into. And then when you do that and you skip meals, you tend to make poor food choices at the end, or you overeat as a result. So planning ahead of time and making sure that you're choosing healthy meals, looking at food more as a source of fuel rather than a source of comfort is one way to practice self-care, um, and treat yourself and your body with respect. Another example of physical self-care is moving your body. I don't like to use the word exercise too much because people seem to have negative connotations about that if you're not usual, if you don't tend to be an active person. So I always tell people, move your body. The CDC, I looked it up, they recommend about 150 minutes a week of a moderate level exercise, and that averages out to be about 30 minutes a day of walking. So you can even break that down to 15-minute increments during the day. So that could be a break. You know, if you have two 15-minute breaks and an hour lunch, you can use your breaks to get your exercise in, or you're moving your body in. And yeah, so that's one way to practice self-care as far as exercise, that gets the blood flowing. So mental and emotional self-care, that's a little bit more complex. So some ways to practice good emotional self-care, mental self-care is obviously sometimes going to a therapist. You don't necessarily have to have a crisis going on or having some severe mental illness in order to seek therapy. Sometimes it's good to kind of like conceptualize things with a neutral individual. So you can go to a therapist sometimes to talk about issues that may be troubling you, whether that is stress at work or you're uncertain about, you know, where your life is headed. Those are things that you can talk about with therapists. Journaling is also a good way to practice self-care. It's kind of a way to reflect on your life, on your day, and get some of those emotions out. You want to nurture relationships with your family and friends who are positive and lift you up. A lot of the times people get so busy with their lives that they lose track of friends and family, but it's really important, not just for them, but for you as well, to make sure that you're spending good quality time with people. And also, you want to set personal boundaries with people who don't bring you or who don't lift you up. Sometimes people would want to cut off people, like others who bring negativity into their lives, and sometimes that's not even possible, such as with family. Sometimes it's not possible to cut a family member off. And in those instances, you want to choose your time wisely when you do spend time with um, people who bring you down. So what I mean by choosing the time is, instead of spending an entire day with someone who brings negativity into your life, you might want to say, oh, okay, let's meet for coffee, you know, and At that time, you set the tone of where you guys meet, and you can spend 30 minutes, and that's it for the rest of the month. Um, the reason why I keep pushing self-care to you guys out there is because it's really important. I want you guys to recognize that you are just as valuable as your responsibilities in life, whether that be at work, with your family, or friends. A lot of times we get so caught up in the responsibilities of our life that we tend to forget ourselves and our needs. And at that point, that's when our mental health is affected. People who don't take good care of themselves end up becoming depressed and end up feeling overwhelmed and anxious. Um, and it's really important to create that balance in your life. So that's it for today. I gave you some examples of practicing self-care, some good concrete ideas, and I hope you guys practice that a little bit each day, every week. All right? Take care, you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.